surrendering, and also having open minds and open hearts, so as to allow the divine to work through us. Then we talked about flipping the switch, in which we talked about the three different levels: the physical, the mental, and the intellectual level, and how we could take that quantum leap to an atmic level and try to come up with solutions from that level. So, the next episode, we talked about uh, knocking our challenges, in which we had three volunteers who took their challenges that they had been facing and how they came up with solutions following the Atmic approach. Then in the next episode, we talked about the hidden treasures within us, the treasure, the Atma. And so we talked about the different characteristics of Atma, eternal being one of them. And that is what we talked about in our last episode. So we related eternal aspect of Atma to sustaining our actions and leaving a legacy behind, or even creating a lasting impact. With that, I will hand it over to Sister Sai Prasanna to give us a more detailed recap about the eternal aspect of Atma.
Sairam, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. And Advaita, thanks for the introduction about what all we did so far. So when we talked about eternal last time, Brother Suresh was helping us to understand that by applying it in our day-to-day life. Like what eternal, when we talk about the Atma, it sounds like something that is far away from us, and it's not something that we can practically practice. But when we go deeper into understanding what is eternal and how we can practice in our day-to-day lives, the facts like sustainability, like when you want to do something and you want to have that perseverance and persistence to accomplish that act, we have to just give it all our energy and the depth and the drive we need to do that activity. So that's the concept of sustainability that we wanted to practice from the eternal aspect of the attribute. And leaving a legacy was something where we are doing something that's not immediately beneficial for us or what we are going to be seeing, but something like planting a tree that you will not see the benefit immediately, but you're leaving it for the entire generations to come. And like that, you know how Mahatma Gandhi was left this whole non-violence movement to all of us. And if we still keep him as our role model when we want to practice non-violence. So leaving a legacy, all those facts that the humans have been able to really practice has become eternal, which is the real attribute of the Atma that we really are. So the practical aspect of it is what we are trying to apply and understand and practice it. And so in this respect, I think Sister Advaita had explained all these things last month. And this month, as we wanted to practice this eternal aspect, we came up with this activity where all of us do this for 6 days, and then we get to understand how we feel about this activity. So the activity, if you hadn't participated, I would just like to explain. You see this cat breathing in and out. So it's an activity where we spend the first day only for 3 minutes to inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 8 counts, and then really focusing on that. And then we slowly increase the depth and the intensity of the practice by increasing the duration and also applying the Soham concept that Swami has always told us. So we can really get deep into this breathing activity. So I would like to call Brother Suresh to explain the intent behind why we apply this activity and how we can reflect on it. So as we go into the breakout room, we can use those insights to discuss in our breakout rooms. Brother Suresh, would you like to add something here?
Yes, Sairam, by the infinite grace, love, and compassion of Lord, we are here for this satsang. So if you notice in the Gita, it is stated that Atma has got some qualities. So by just knowing that Atma has got those qualities, then what is that relevance to us? So this is what the whole point is. So if we know how to get connected to the Atma, then we start imbibing the qualities of the Atma, which is why we are going to each quality and trying to make that relevant and significant in our daily living. So the word eternal means continuous, sustaining for long periods. So we decided that one way of doing that would be to pick up a sadhana and then intensify the sadhana and extend the sadhana for longer periods in order for us to derive more better experiences. So then the group decided that we take breathing, and that's one of the simplest ways of getting insight. So we said that, okay, if you take breathing exercise and then we do it for 3 minutes and then we extend the period for 4 minutes or extend the period for 5 minutes as the days pass by, then you'll find that we are sustaining the sadhana for longer periods. The length is not as important as the depth. So at each time when we extend, we also increase the depth of that experience. Increasing the depth of the experience means that you enjoy doing it to such an extent that you look forward towards the next session. And therefore, there is an incredible intrinsic joy derived from this sadhana. That is why we do the sadhana. So unless we force ourselves with a lot of discipline to sit and do, we may not get it. But if we just do it because it's a beautiful exercise to enjoy, we can sustain that sadhana. And by helping to sustain that for longer periods, then we find that this is an exercise for us to slowly imbibe the quality of the Atma, which is eternal. Whatever we do, make sure you do it consistently. Whatever you do it with greater intensity. Whatever you do it for the purposes of a higher good, a greater good. So these are the qualities of the Atma. So we decided to embark on the sadhana, this simple sadhana, to emulate that experience and to significantly absorb that the quality of the Atma. That is why we took up this exercise.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Okay, so I think many of us participated, and in case we didn't participate also, it is okay. You're here today and you're going to get the experience as we go into the breakout room. I just wanted to share how our reflection is going to be. So as we were discussing about doing this breathing activity, and as Brother Suresh was explaining, how we have to increase the depth and the intensity of our practice, the 5Ds were really the foundation for us to continue that drive and practice, right? So we, first of all, what are the 5Ds? They are dedication, discipline, determination, devotion, and discrimination. So first we had some steps as we were sending the challenges to you. And we thought about this, but it looks like each one of us take one of these Ds as a primary thing first, and the rest of the Ds may follow, may not follow. So we didn't think that a step would really work, because all of us are a little bit different in how which of this D is really strong in us. So we would like you to think about the different Ds, like all these words that Swami has explained and given to us, and they are really foundational for us to help us practice and work towards our goal and persevere and persist and succeed. So let's reflect on how we use these 5Ds when we go into the breakout rooms. And if there are questions about the 5Ds, and if you have information about the 5Ds that you would like to share, as you're talking about the practice, we would be very happy to hear from all of you. So now let's go to the breakout room session. I'll stop sharing.
All right. I had a really wonderful time listening to all the answers. So, in very short, not everyone was able to follow the challenge, but then they talked about their other goal related activities. And it seemed like, discipline and devotion that all help in sustaining their activities. And I think people were able to sustain it because they loved doing so. For example, somebody was into reading Thai literature or watching all of the videos, and they do it on a regular basis because they love doing that. and even they get answers, just by watching some of Baba's videos and all. They get solutions to their problems. So I definitely thought they were operating at an atmic level. And some of them were going to Vipassana every year, looking forward to doing that and finding that peace, connecting to the inner self. And some of them were doing the meditation. They started off, thinking about the benefits of the activity, but then by the end, when she was going on a walk, it was, doing that in 4 counts of inhale and 8 counts of exhale. She was doing it, uh, you know, on her own without realizing it consciously. So, I definitely thought that was again at an atmic level where the Atma is just doing it on its own. And so I think everybody was doing pretty well. And if not, they were able to realize that they were still operating at the level of the body and mind, and that struggle was still there, but looking forward to doing that at an atmic level. Sairam.
I think
Sairam.
next person is Saidata. Go ahead, Saidata.
Sairam, this time I was in a room with all veterans and experts because people have been doing this exercise, meditation and all for months. It was not just week, so it was months, and for some it was years. And the way they described it, for some people it gives them calmness, clarity of thought. And there was one person, she has an asthma, like she is asthmatic, so exercise like breathing and chanting helps us calm down. And like it helps with like physical thing also, like even the sneezes and all that helps in the rest of the day. And few people said it helps them with the clarity of thoughts and gives them calmness. And then there was a nice thing which Brother Madhav was sharing. It's like the kalpataru, like, so whatever you wish for, when you dedicatedly do that, you eventually get that from the activity. And about the atmic level versus the physical level, they said it always starts at a physical level, then eventually it goes deeper. But for atmic level, again, they're like, it's a tough nut to crack. So we are still waiting for Suresh Uncle to clarify a little more on that. Sairam.
Okay, thank you, Saidata. And Brother Amit, you're next.
Sairam, thank you. So on top of the points that were brought up, some of the unique points in our group there was one individual who just mentioned that they have varying degrees of anxiety, and it's a very practical tool that worked effectively. And just by adjusting it, the length, it was very useful from that perspective. There was another perspective that, once you reached a minute or two of the breathing technique, that the benefit beyond that was perhaps limited. So it was useful to know that just in a short time frame, the benefit was there. And I liked one little quick pearl that just using downtime when there's a break, let's say you're at a stoplight, you keep your eyes open and you can still do this for the time. Sometimes there's some long silence, or just any gap you're in a waiting room, you can quietly do this, derive the benefit from it. And similar to an example that was given, someone who enjoys gardening, they get enjoyment from it, they want to do it more. So you get the enjoyment from this breathing tool that is effective at so many levels, and then you continue wanting to do it. So I'll pause with that.
Thank you, Brother Amit. I think next it's Rajit. Rajit, we can't hear you.
Okay.
Anna, can you speak now? Oh, you can't hear you. What happened? We heard you before.
रुको ਇਹਦਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂ
Sairam, can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Good.
Wait, this is through my phone though. One second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Now you can hear me? Oh, okay. I think there was something wrong. Okay. Sairam, so I had a room full of new attendees. So many of them didn't attend the last month's AWE, and this is the first time they're hearing about the activity. But many of them expressed interest about, trying to get this activity in their bag and trying to practice it throughout the month. So probably we'll hear more from them in the next month. But there was like a question of, what are the things that they're practicing towards going through their goal, and somehow focus was brought in. And one of the participants mentioned that, having food, like the quality and the quantity of food that they put in their body kind of determines how much disciplined, dedicated, determined they are towards pursuing any activity towards their goal, which I thought was very cool. And sometimes, I also tend to ignore. So I think that was something that was very cool, that was brought into it. And apart from that, there were questions about, how to, keep count of inhaling, exhaling, and, not lose focus. So we like discussed a little bit about, focus, and how determination and devotion helps us to, keep our commitment towards the activity. And one of the points I brought up is, like, progress might not be increasing the length or intensity of an activity. It can just be like being purely consistent with your activity. That can be progress, rather than increasing the length or intensity of the activity. So that was what I have from my group.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rajit. Brother Sanjeev, you're next.
Sairam, everyone. So I won't repeat a lot of what's already been shared. I think everyone who shared in our group spoke volumes about the benefits of the actual exercise itself, and specifically, about the calming effect, about the focus effect, about the energy effect, about how it made an impact on their day-to-day experience. What I will share. So there was a lot of sharing along the same lines, but just in the interest of time, I thought I'd just share a comment and two questions that came up for Brother Suresh from this group. So one was, one question that came up is, the distinction between the Ds. And it can be like if you start focusing a lot on the Ds, it can become perhaps a little bit of a distraction. So, how critical is it to have that distinction? Or if Brother Suresh can help us kind of tie that back together with the exercise and, the bigger picture, or just elaborate a little bit more on that. The second question that came up is something that he mentioned really right before we started the exercise, but maybe elaborate a little more on it, which is the ability to sustain it. So everyone talked about the benefit of it, and everyone recognizes the benefit of it. But how does one really sustain the exercise? And I know the whole point of the exercise was to actually talk about sustaining it, but kind of going a full circle here, if you can share that. And then a very wonderful point of feedback from Sister Chitra was that and it's actually shared, I suspect widely. I know I feel the same way too. We just talked about broadly the many questions about, or from the prior sessions that we want to bring up, and she pointed out that the practicality of the exercises that we're going through on a month-to-month basis has been incredibly helpful. So, for example, she talked about the complaint jar as an example, and I know that I've also got benefited from some of those things. We've kind of, imbibed them, and I may not be doing justice to the comment, but the point was that the exercises that we're going through, the homework assignments that we're going through, these are not, academic or pedantic. These are truly, things that are geared towards, making it into a practice and, weaving it into our, everyday life. So I wanted to kind of just highlight that, the importance of this as we're going through this journey together. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share that. Sairam.
Thank you, Brother Sanjeev. Brother Praveen, you're next.
Thank you. So there are mixed thoughts from our room, and everyone is expressing like they have started the program, they have started the breathing activity. Few felt really happy of doing this activity. Few are like they are not able to because of the disturbances in their life. So there is some solutions that we need on how to improve the breathing activity, or how to slowly intensify it, how to slowly start and then intensify it. If there are any like don't want to do this activity as a monotonous activity, that I have to complete this activity within this much of time. So as of now, current situation is like that for some people, which they want to overcome. And also there is one more suggestion that one more question saying that is there any way that we can intensify our meditation and prayers? Or is there any other way to do the prayers to Swami other than meditation to, improve the peace in the life? That's one more question that they have asked. And one more question I have received is how to handle the stressful situations during when we are stressful, how to improve the quality of the life, or how to make sure that we practice the spiritual practices as part of the daily activities to improve the quality of the life is one more question that we have received as part of this program. And someone has suggested to include this breathing activity as part of the day one activity, like within first 30 minutes after waking up from the bed is what suggested. And most of the questions, whatever that Sanjeev have asked on the same lines, we are also asking the questions. Maybe we can see more from Brother Suresh. So thank you.
Thank you, Brother Praveen. From our room, I'm going to ask Kirti to summarize.
So I think one of the biggest commonalities, or two people in our group mentioned that as they were practicing, they felt that once they started actively implementing one of the 5 Ds, they felt that the others just kind of came along or will come along as you continue to focus on one. And I think another commonality is that once you're deeply absorbed within the breathing activity, you don't notice time passing. So even though the time lengths were getting longer every day, that as long as you were able to maintain your focus, you didn't really feel the change in the time because you were fully present in that moment. And then someone was explaining how that when you're focusing on Swami, you forget everything else, like the increases in time. And then we had a question for Suresh Uncle, actually, from our group. We were talking about the 5 koshas, and one of the members in our group was mentioning how when she was doing the breathing activity, she felt like she was reaching the Manomaya kosha, but didn't exactly know what it felt like to reach the Atmic level. So we were hoping you could provide some clarity on how exactly we would know if we reached the Atmic level.
Okay. So that's it, Lisa? That's all the groups, right?
Yeah, that's all, brother.
So Sairam, I had an amazing trip. I went from room to room and listened to some of the sessions. It was very, very exciting and interesting to see various perspectives. Actually, this exercise is only to demonstrate the intention to intensify and extend so that we can go back to that attribute of eternal in that, which is one of the qualities of the Atma. So the whole exercise of this breathing, let me just do the breathing and then show the significance and then relate to the 5 Ds and then relate to eternal. So then it summarizes the whole picture. So when we keep on focusing on the breathing, what continuously happens is that you slowly move to a witness mode. That means you don't participate in the river. It is like when the river is flowing fast, you should stand by the river bank to enjoy the river. You cannot say that I want to watch the Niagara Falls very close. If you go very too close to the Niagara Falls, you will be literally dragged into the Niagara, and then we have to pick you up from the other side of Canada. So the whole point of the thing is to view Niagara, you have to stand at a distance. In the same way, in the breathing exercise, you stand at the river bank and watch the river flowing. Once you stand and watch the river flowing means river of thoughts flowing. So you don't participate in the river. So when you stand by the river bank, just stand there and witness the whole river passing. That is why when I heard some participants also saying that, they get confusion, cluttering, there's a lot of things. So that means that you're inside the river. You should get to the river bank. So the breathing exercise, when you focus on the Soham, you focus on the breathing, you inhale, go back 4, exhale 4. If you have difficulty in 4-8, Then you can go by 4-4-4. That's one of the other stress release exercises, is also to focus on inhale 4, keep 4, exhale 4. Inhale 4, keep 4, exhale 4. If you keep 4-4-4, it's also a very good de-stressing exercise in which you focus only on the breathing. So when you inhale, then you find that you focus on something, inhale something good. That means you think of something good. Keep it there, then exhale something that is not so good. Inhale light, exhale darkness. Inhale freshness, exhale staleness, like that. So you keep that rhythm going like this. You slowly will move to the river bank. Once you're in the river bank, you watch the river flowing. Now, how do you know you're going to the Atmic level? You don't need to know that, because if you know that you're in the Atmic level, then it is still at the level of the mind, because who's telling you that? It's the mind. So you still have the mind. Oh, that's why you don't have a description of the Atmic level in which it says, or when you reach the Atmic level, there'll be blue color, yellow color, light color. There's no color. The Upanishads do not describe that. Because when the description comes in, then the mind has come and interfered. So you don't need to know that. So that's why in scriptures, they say, neti, neti, neti. It is not this experience, it is not that experience. It is not this experience. So when there's no experience at all, then you come into the experience of the Atmic level. That's how you know. So that's how you not know, that's how you experience it. Knowing also is not good. So the whole idea is you enjoy that. That's why the last question you see, do you enjoy going for the experience? When you start going to enjoy that without the discipline of it, then you find that you automatically autopilot. Then you so when you're in the autopilot, then you'll find that it just goes by itself. Then you don't really need to worry about anything. Then you just enjoy the whole process. So then you have automatically the determination will come. Why you have the determination? Because you experience the devotion. You want to feel it. So automatically you will be determined to not be distracted by the rest of the world. You don't want this, you don't want it, because you're going for enjoyment, you're going for happiness, you're going for bliss. So why should the world distract you? So you go back and sit there. Then with determination, then you have the devotion. And then finally, at the end of the day, you dedicate that particular activity to God. You dedicate that whole experience. Oh Lord, thank you so much for this experience. May I infuse this experience in all what I do from now to night, so that all the activities, the seva, the work, office work, everything be infused by this blissful experience that you have. So the dedication comes in automatically. Then everything you find that it's the sense of duty. What is the duty? Your duty is to give everything with love. Your duty is to do everything in this world with a sense of no doership. That's your ultimate duty. That's why Baba said, love without duty is divinity. You know, that's the duty, is to give everything like that. So you see, you can incorporate all the 5 Ds in your everyday action like that. Once you start doing this, you are on holiday. You don't need to take a break. Your work is a holiday. Your exercise is a holiday. Your home is a holiday. It's a totally holiday feeling. That feeling of holiday, when you get up, that means costless bliss, costless feeling of happiness is bliss. So when you get up and you're smiling, and your husband looks at you, why are you smiling? And you tell, I have no reason to smile. Yeah, I don't have any reason. Then why are you smiling? I don't know. I'm just happy. When you don't have any reason to be happy and yet you are happy, that automatically means you switched on the Anandamaya Kosha. You don't need to, the Anandamaya Kosha. You just go around giggling, laughing, joyfully going, and you're so happy. That experience of feeling happiness without any reason for happiness is bliss. So when we continuously experience this, you're moving towards that quality of the Atma, which is eternal. That is what this experience is all about. If you have a force, yo, I have to do this, yo, I have to do that, yo, ayo, and keep on saying ayo, ayo, then you'll find that then it is a pain, it's a chore. But for example, even Sai work, Sai come, can you do, oh, I can, oh, yo, brother, I wish I could do it. I want to do it, but I cannot do it because if you keep on saying these things, then you know that the work that you're doing is a chore. It's a chore, it's a work, hard work. Then. But when you do it with so much of, you see, when you love a girl or boy, there's no more choice, isn't it? Whatever she wants or whatever he wants, you're doing it. How come you're doing it? Can you come and meet me? Sure, 2 hours journey far away, but no problem. I can take the 2 buses and 3 trains. I'll reach there. Why you are going through that difficulty? You don't feel the pain. Why you don't feel the pain? Because you love. So loving God is don't have any more pain. You don't have any more feeling of stress. You just enjoy the whole day. That's what spiritual life is all about. It's not about confusion. It's about others can look at it as a problem, but we cannot look at it as a problem. We look at, hey, this problem is teaching me something. What is it that is teaching me? I changed my entire perspective of that problem. There's an obnoxious character there. What do I do? How do I transform him? How do I change him? So I don't feel stressed up about it because that is what his nature is. Why should I allow his nature to influence me? That is the attitude that you have. But to develop that attitude, you need to get to the river bank, not at the river. You need to move to the river bank and watch the river flowing. So everything is the witness mode. You have to get into the witness mode of that. This is what this exercise is all about. So I've incorporated all the 5 Ds, and then I have the method of breathing is to ensure that we get to the river bank, and then this continuously work like this in a great manner, and then that's it. So how do you judge this? How do you judge this? That judging this, that in your days, everything going smoothly. This is very beautiful lesson. Oh, no, it's not going. Okay, no problem. Nothing to worry. But whenever something that does not go smoothly, is your reaction to that more improved? Is there? That's all. You cannot expect the whole world not to give you peace. By the way, just to let you know, there are a lot of people queuing up to give you problems. So the point is, whenever people are coming to give you problem, how are you managing that issue? That is spirituality in action. Oh God, please do not give me any problem. That is not prayer. Oh Lord, whatever comes to me, let me have the strength to manage that. That's what so the whole attitude should be changed through this breathing exercise to develop a certain element of sustainability. For what? Sustainability for what? For the peace and bliss that you have already gained in the morning prayer. Then you sustain the whole day, then whole week, then the whole month. So, and then next time, whenever you get angry, you know, oh, I only got angry at this point. I only got disappointed at this point. So you see, your disappointment, anger is only very few in dots and dashes, not the other way around. Most of the time we are angry and upset and agitated, and occasionally we get a little bit of peace when we go to the Sai Center. Not like that. So now you have to reverse the whole you have to reverse the whole situation. Most of the time we are peaceful and blissful. Yeah, that day that person said something. Yeah, the dog barked the other side. Yeah, okay, a little bit here. Okay, fine. Then we got it. We got the answer. This is the way to live a spiritual life. Saira. So I think I've answered many of the questions that you've
It
asked.
looks like, yeah, I mean, I'm dumbfounded now to ask every question because I think you answered everything in that continuous way of how you took us from one level to the other level. But then, as Sai Manori has put here, costless happiness is bliss. I think that's the takeaway message. When we want to feel the bliss and we are always happy, that's the costless happiness. So, but the process of getting there is that physical, mental, and then getting to that costless state. First, it is a chore, right? It comes as a chore, but then people are going through the process of chore to now I enjoy it, I want to do it, and this is really something that will keep on doing it and I'll sustain it. So that
Okay,
process we have
no.
to be really patient with, right?
You can, but there's a shortcut to that. So when I looked at the scriptures, I found the biggest shortcut, like bypass. That means I got to go through this process, such a long process. I got to read all these scriptures. So there is a shortcut to that. Baba gave that in 2 lines. Because that's the thing. That's the reason why we need to understand. Baba said, 2 things you must never forget. What is that? Death and God. Oh, fantastic. Now everybody reads that. Everybody understands that. But understanding that in the context of things is what is important. So when you say 2 things you must not forget, death and
2
God.
things. Sorry, what and
2
God?
things, death and God.
Oh,
Death and God. 2 things you must never forget, death and God. Now imagine now you have a problem, you got this one, you got stressed up, finally imagine yourself in the coffin. Now when you're being taken away in the coffin, now what happened to your problem? What happened to your chore? What happened to your all those displeasures? What happened? What happened to that? All gone, isn't it? Everything is gone. So that really everything is gone. Everything is gone. So why do I make such a big fuss out of everything? That's my point. The point is one day we are going to leave the world. So I have this opportunity I want to enjoy. So I want to make blissful. So if there's anything I can do, let me contribute to the solution. So as spiritual people, we are solution providers, not problem creators. That is why whenever we find, make big things small, make small things disappear. That's the attitude of a spiritualist. Not small issue to make it big. Oh, he said like that, I said like that, exaggerate, pull this, and make ourselves miserable. Because you are also going to die, I am also going to die. So in this present world, it's a very short transit thing that we are here. So why not make the best use of things? So Swami's reminder, once I have that significant point, I don't need to worry about all these chores. I bypass all these things, immediately I get my realization. That's it. And that is why in the Mahabharata, they asked Yudhishthira, what is the biggest phenomena, the greatest phenomena? Yudhishthira replied, the greatest phenomena is that death happens to everybody, but nobody thinks it happens to them. So this is the greatest phenomena in life, it seems. So
Because we think we are the Atma. We are eternal.
Atma is eternal, so we are Atmic. So I think this is the kind of consciousness that we must live every day in our life. Then we have no problem. Then you will find that problems can be better managed. In fact, Sai organizations, Sai Baba centers, Sai devotees, we have come to provide solutions to the world, solutions to ourselves and solutions to the world. Once we have that paradigm, we have not come here to create problems for ourselves. So you cannot say, I will come and solve this, wait till I solve my problem with my husband. Wait till then you solve all these problems. The idea is that in this, whatever problems that has come in our life, that is the karma that we have inherited from the past baggage. The past examination paper, we did not know how to answer. So the examination paper came this time. Now don't change the examination hall or don't change the examination paper. Find answers to answer those questions and then write the answers.
Brother, I have a question. Isn't bliss a state higher than happiness? Because happiness still mind is involved. Because
Yes,
mind is the thing that feels happy or sad. So bliss is something beyond that.
So if you want PhD, you have to go through BSc, MSc, then only doctorate. So in other words, if you are not even able to achieve elementary peace and a little bit peace, that's why these exercises. In everything that we do, experience that peace, that the peace will get prolonged. It is in that peace you find that there is a small little gap between the thoughts. One thought to the other thought is bliss is to slip in between those two thoughts and achieve that. So when you have ruffled thoughts like this going in the ocean, there's no slip. You are going from one thought to another thought. The mind will become very unruffled. So you're top of the ocean. So when you're on top of the ocean, peace cannot be experienced. So the whole idea is to slip and reach the bottom of the ocean, which is the seabed. This is the seabed is where we experience peace, deeper and deeper peace, longer and longer peace. We get into the bliss. In that bliss, we have no identity of what definition is, what description. We just want to remain because the definition is 10 to the power of 18 happiness, which is quintillon bliss. My God, that level of bliss is 10 to the power of 18. Can you imagine? Yeah.
Brother Bharat, you had a question you want to ask?
Yeah, Dr. Suez going. Just a couple of things. I'm trying to understand the Atmic level from a couple of experiences. One, yesterday I was watching a talk on YouTube yesterday from a guest speaker from UK to South California, and he was talking about back in the days when the baby was born, and the baby was born dead. When the doctors placed the baby onto the table, the couple were able prayed to Swami, and they surrendered the baby to Swami in their prayer. And sometime later, the baby started crying. So life came. The baby was born dead, but life came into the baby after some prayers and after some time. So what I'm trying to understand is what Atmic level the parents must have been in terms of their devotion and their spiritual practice. And another one was back in the 80s when a couple only had one son, and he was a teenager. He was kidnapped back in UK. And a lot of people used to say, you go to the Mandi, you go to the organization, and you do all your prayers and you do your seva activities and all the rest of it. Look what God has done to you. You don't even, the kidnappers haven't called you. You don't know where your son is. You don't know what's happened, and you're still devoted to the sanstha, to your organization. You do your prayers and everything else. What I'm trying to understand is what kind of level of devotion or sacrifice. I'm just trying to understand behind the words and how people can actually surrender in situations like this, and thy will be done. At your Lotus feet, I surrender. Because I've been trying to practice surrender since you gave when you first gave your talk at 2004 in Mill Hill back in the days, and I'm still struggling with surrender.
So to sustain that particular experience of surrender means what I give you, what I have surrendered to you, then whatever happens to whatever is take it as his will. So the problem why we're not able to surrender is the mind comes in. Hey, since you have surrendered, then the condition must be like this. Then this must be there. Then this must be bad. So we have conditioned the concept of surrender to mean and equate certain experiences that I should have. That is what should be surrendered. Surrender means whatever happens from now on is your will. That experience must be. Then the Lord will, you see, like the kite. Kite surrenders to whom? The person who's holding the string, isn't it? So you that height of the kite can fly, but the string is held by the bottom. Like that, you must surrender to God. Like the pilot, you surrender to the pilot who takes the flight up 10,000, 20,000 feet. You don't have any argument with the pilot who takes you. You don't even know that pilot. Yet you are surrendered totally to the pilot who takes you 20,000, 30,000 feet up in the sky, and you have no problem. You're blissfully eating your pizza and cake in the flight and watching a movie and chewing a chiclet or whatever. But you're so happy. Why? Because you surrendered to the pilot. Pilot whom you don't know, you surrender. But God whom you know is difficult to surrender. See? The point of the story is that we need to let go. Once we let go, the mind says, hey, when the mind comes in doubt, you should keep quiet. You have no business to come into my system. I have totally given it to him to pilot my flight. Don't come inside. Don't come. So the vigilance over the mind is the standing by the riverbank and watching the river flow. That is what is spirituality in action. So this is when we keep on practicing like that, we achieve that whole status. So it has to be a practice. So the practice is tell the mind, don't disturb me. Don't disturb me. Don't disturb me. You are nobody to be disturbing. So you start losing the individuality of the mind to exert. Once that comes in, then that is what the subject of master the mind. So the greatest symbol of that is when you look at Ganapati, Ganesha, below Ganesha is the rat. If you look at the rat, people just think it's a picture, but it's one of the most redeeming picture. When the rat is holding the modaka, which is the white color ball, is holding it, is about to bite, and the eyes is looking at Ganapati. That picture is enough to redeem the whole life, which means to say every mind, the rat represents the mind. When the mind is about to engage with an activity, get the sanction of the intellect, the higher buddhi. If you can achieve this status, it becomes mastermind. Once you become mastermind, your life is peaceful. So this is a picture of redemption of our lives. But we just look at the right, we look at Ganapati, we just throw the flower. We cannot see the decoding message that the rat is giving us. So if our mind also is like the rat, always get the sanction of the higher intelligence, you got no more problem, surrender like that. Okay, so now we have come, you see, we have
Brother,
got now.
Sai Ram, brother, I have a question here. The Anandamaya state I experienced many times where I'm laughing to myself in yoga and meditation. The first question I have is, let's say just now the rats, you mentioned he is looking for the permission of the higher intelligence. Would you be able to give a little bit more details on my day-to-day basis? How do I really know this action is approved by the higher intelligence? How can I recognize that?
Okay, Swami said three things. In Satya Sai Speaks, Baba said, knowledge comes to us through one. What is that? Sahaja Jnanam. Sahaja Jnana means comes through the senses. Then Swami said, Yukti Yukta Jnanam. What does it mean? It means the Jnanam to analyze things. Then Swami said, the highest knowledge, and this is the best way to answer your question. Baba said, Ishwara Prita Jnanam, which means whatever knowledge that comes into me, whatever that prompts into me, must be that which is loved by God. So, and Baba gave another answer. Love is my message, expansion is my life. My life is my message, expansion is my life. So whichever action that you do in this world that expands the consciousness of yourself is correct. That is Ishvara Prita Jnanam. So that is endorsement. Anything that gives you higher states of bliss or triggers bliss and happiness in others, making the world move in a better way, is Ishvara Prita Jnanam. So when you have that knowledge, then that is already considered endorsement. Number two, whenever we do something, when inside your system doesn't give you any agitation and restlessness, that is right. Whenever something that you do, there is a conscience that is pricking, hey, I should not have, then that is wrong. Because Baba said, he also gave another formula, conscience is your guru. Finish. So when we tune up our personality to such an extent that whatever that we do, we are getting an inner compass to guide us, then we are right. Then it is telling us to go in the right direction. When something is telling you that is not, you should not have done, then you become agitated.
Okay.
For example, I give you a very good example in my case, where when to Sri Lanka, I had, you notice many years, some months back, I have a mustache. Now I don't have. So this is classic example. I had a mustache, and this person came to me and told me, I want to sing bhajans. And then, yes, why? Don't go and sing. No, the bhajan coordinator is not allowing me to. And he said, why? Because the bhajan coordinator says that in Prashanti Nilayam, the beard, those with beard and mustache cannot sing. So I stood up in defense, wanting to defend him and speak. But I took 3 steps, and then I realized I can't go and talk to him because I have a mustache. Well, it began to hurt me like anything. I first time I'm not able to. I felt like one kind of thing pricking me. So I sat down. When I sat on my chair, then Arvind came, and he narrated a story where Swami talked to students to shave and all that. So that started, and then in the Kenya conference, somebody else talked about it. So in my flight back, when I told my wife, something is telling me I feel agitated. Now there's something, and I don't like the disturbance. I always like everything to be nice. When something is disturbed, then I decided, I told my wife, I'm going to shave off my mustache. She told me, as long as you don't shave off your head. So then I decided, okay, there you go. So this is what is meant by what I'm saying. Something inside system will start like
turbulence. Yeah, got it. Yeah, thank you so much, brother. The second question I have is about sleep. So in, trying to walk in this path, as I'm increasing my practice more and more, at times I'm dozing off easily. Is this normal?
Yeah. So what happens is, in the spiritual thing, when your body is dozing off, means the body is needing sleep. So literally that means you're not getting good sleep, or your sleep is disturbed. So at daytime or nighttime, your body must have, the body must never doze off without our permission. So if it is dozing off, it's becoming lethargic. That means you look back at your lifestyle and see whether you're having deep sleep. It is not good to sleep, but you must have deep sleep. That means inside our mind, you must understand, when you're going to bed, who are you going to meet? God. When you go to bed, my dear friends, you're going to meet God. You know where is God? God is in the highest consciousness. What is blocking that? The conscious mind. So when, oh God, I'm going to God. So the mind opens up, the conscious mind all moves away. Then when you're totally in the deeper levels, you're going to meet God. When you have that anticipation, you will have very deep sleep. In that deep sleep, when you get up in the morning, you're fresh and you're alert. Then when you do your meditation and you do this, you will be very vigilant and you'll be alert. So these are signals of the body telling us that it requires rest.
Okay. Thank you so much, brother. That's wonderful explanation.
So now we got 5 minutes to finish off.
Yeah. Brother, I think there's some adjustments, as we are very agile and flexible. It looks like we'll just go and talk about, introduce indestructible, which is the other attribute that we were supposed to delve deeper into. Rajit is going to be doing that. But before we do that, we just want to give you what we'll be doing next month. And let me share my screen just a moment. Mute the sound also. So some of you may have seen the trailer. So we're going to be playing this trailer to give you an idea of what to expect next month. Let's continue the breathing practice. I won't be annoying you with my daily reminders, but then you know what it is like. So hopefully you can practice it. So let me share this. Please let me know if you can't hear the video.
Are you tired of all the noise in your life? Yeah. Do you ever feel like the incessant noise around you is so unbearable that you'd rather replace your ears with a pair of earmuffs made out of marshmallows and move to a soundproof igloo in the Arctic? How did you know? Well, look no further. Introducing the new and improved serenity-inducing sound blockers. Using midichlorian technology, these will enhance your Atma to make you indestructible against the world. With these sound blockers, you can rise above the challenges around you and be a source of happiness and positivity for the rest of the world.
learn more, please join us on Sunday, June 2nd. Serenity-inducing sound blockers are not responsible for any sudden urges to relocate to the Himalayas, develop a passion for silent meditation, or adopt a herd of alpacas as your new noise-free companions. Side effects may include uncontrollable giggling, sudden bursts of peace, and an inexplicable desire to hug the next cloud you see. Consult your inner Zen master if symptoms persist. Act now and receive a bonus tranquil llama plushie for your newfound serenity.
I hope you all had a good laugh. But we have 2 minutes, so let's listen to this 1 minute description about Atma is indestructible from Brother Suresh. And this, I think, Rajit will cover next time. So,
Sairam, if Atma is my friend and I'm going to go in touch, I'm going to go shake hands with my Atma, this quality, one of the qualities is indestructible, which means to say it cannot be destroyed, it cannot be diminished, it cannot be, the significance cannot be lowered. If I have a friend like that, I always want to be with him. My confidence level will never be destroyed. My happiness and my joy can never be diminished. My Atma is going to give me that extreme level of confidence, which means to say my spirit can never be destroyed. My spirit of happiness can never be diminished. I will always be at the same level of constant motivation if I am with my Atma, which is described as indestructible. So this is my direct connection to that Atma to give me that confidence that it will never be shattered by the challenges in the world outside. What an amazing power of personality that I can be. Think.
thank you, brother. That was amazing. I think the ad was related to that, like how can we get through the noise of the world and the troubles and the distress that we have. And we are not going to do this. Suresh, do you have some closing words? Yeah.
Just 2 minutes. Maybe if we can just introduce that, then they can go and practice that and come back next week. Because just 2 minutes, then I think I can finish that. Because
Okay.
it's otherwise we have to wait 1 month for this. So it's just 2
So
minutes.
you want the June activity, brother, for us to do? Okay, let me put that in. Okay. Let me share the screen again.
Okay, so what we want is, once we have understood that indestructible means indestructible hope, indestructible inspiration. So number one, let us look in the next 1 month, how we can inspire ourselves to do the kind of things. What are the inspirational moments you have had, and how do you sustain that inspiration that you have? Let's focus only on inspiration. Of course, there are many other things that we inspired, can be attributed to, but let's focus on inspiration. Second thing is that you look around your family, look around your office friends, look for those people who are a bit sad, lonely, aloof. Okay, how did you pass on that indestructible inspiration to other people? And come and share with us that I had this, I talked to them, and then he came out of his thing and all that. So look for people, that's what Baba has done to us. And he himself, by his inspiration, have inspired all of us. So in your next 1 month, if you are in touch with because you're doing your breathing exercises and you're doing all the flip the coin, no complaint, jai, everything else you're following. So now inspire yourself to inspire other people around you and see how you can transmit this inspiration to others, and come and share with us next month on how you have done that, and share with us your joy of watching other people change and transform.
Wow. Good, bro. We're on time. Stop recording.